For decades, the United States focused its economic and political attention on China, but now a massive shift is underway, one that might make India the new cornerstone of America's global strategy. The U.S. China relationship, once a pillar of global trade, is now riddled with tension. Tariff wars, military posturing, and ideological clashes have pushed the world's two largest economies into a precarious standoff. But while America's reliance on China has become a geopolitical liability, it still needs a partner for its global supply chains and strategic ambitions. Enter India, the world's largest democracy, a rising economic powerhouse, and crucially, a nation that shares concerns about China's growing influence. The question isn't just whether India can replace China, it's whether the U.S. can afford for it not to. India's emergence as a key player in the U.S. strategy isn't accidental. Over the past decade, American companies have been quietly shifting their supply chains away from China. Apple, for instance, has invested billions in manufacturing iPhones in India, with plans to produce 25% of its global output there by 2025. Similarly, Tesla is exploring opportunities to set up manufacturing plants in India, drawn by the potential of a growing middle-class market and government incentives for electric vehicles. Why the shift? China's rising labor costs are one factor. In 2000, the average Chinese factory worker earned the equivalent of 60 cents per hour. Today, that figure exceeds $6 per hour, pricing some industries out of the market. Compare this to India, where labor costs remain significantly lower, averaging just $2 per hour. But cost isn't the only consideration. The U.S. also sees India as a strategic ally in counterbalancing China's growing influence. The two nations have deepened defense ties, with the U.S. becoming one of India's top arms suppliers. In 2020, India signed a military logistics agreement with the U.S., allowing their forces to use each other's bases for resupply and repair. This cooperation has extended into space and cybersecurity, with NASA and the Indian Space Research Organization collaborating on joint satellite missions. But there's an irony here. While the U.S. is looking to India as a stable partner, India's own political and economic environment presents challenges. Still, the potential is undeniable. With a population of over 1.4 billion, soon to surpass China, India offers a massive consumer base and a rapidly growing digital economy. It's a country where 800 million people are expected to have smartphones by 2025, making it a prime market for American tech giants. But here's the twist. India's rise as a U.S. partner is far from straightforward. Despite shared interests, the two nations have significant differences. For one, India has long championed a policy of non-alignment, avoiding formal alliances. This means that while India might align with the U.S. on some issues, it fiercely guards its independence. A prime example is India's relationship with Russia. Even amid the Ukraine war, India has ramped up its imports of Russian oil, increasing them by 33 times over the past year. This is because India has leveraged the discounted oil to manage its own energy costs, even as Western nations impose sanctions on Moscow. Then there are internal economic challenges. Infrastructure bottlenecks, bureaucratic red tape, and inconsistent policies remain significant hurdles for companies looking to relocate from China to India. For example, it takes an average of 68 hours to clear goods through customs at Indian ports, compared to just 16 hours in Singapore. And while India has a massive workforce, it lags behind China in literacy rates and vocational training. India boasts an adult literacy rate of 77%, compared to China's 97%. Yet, despite these challenges, American businesses are betting big. Semiconductor giants like Micron and Intel are setting up shop in India, lured by government incentives amounting to $10 billion under the country's semiconductor manufacturing policy. Walmart has invested $1.2 billion in Flipkart, India's version of Amazon, betting on the country's rapid e-commerce growth. It's clear that both nations are navigating a delicate balancing act, driven by mutual interests, but hampered by structural and ideological differences. The U.S.-India partnership isn't without risks. For one, India's domestic politics are becoming increasingly polarized. Critics argue that Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has stoked divisions, raising concerns about the country's democratic stability. For example, the revocation of Jammu and Kashmir's special status in 2019 drew international criticism and strained relations with neighboring Pakistan. Then there's the question of whether India's infrastructure can keep up with its ambitions. Power outages, congested ports, and an outdated railway system cost the Indian economy billions annually. The World Bank estimates that 30% of goods in India are lost to spoilage due to poor logistics infrastructure. On the geopolitical front, India's balancing act between the U.S. and Russia, as well as its cautious stance toward China, could complicate its role as a reliable U.S. partner. For example, India's refusal to condemn Russia's actions in Ukraine has raised eyebrows in Washington. Yet, there are reasons for optimism. India's economy is projected to grow at 6.3% annually through 2030, making it one of the fastest-growing major economies. Its young workforce, with a median age of 28, offers a stark contrast to aging populations in China and the West. Moreover, India's commitment to renewable energy, aiming for 50% of its electricity to come from non-fossil sources by 2030, aligns with global climate goals, making it an increasingly attractive partner for the U.S. As India takes center stage, its choices will shape not just its future, but the future of global power dynamics. The story of America's new dependence on India is about more than just trade and geopolitics. It's a case study in how global power is shifting in the 21st century. As the U.S. seeks to decouple from China, it's discovering that building new alliances is a complex and risky business. India, with its massive potential and unique challenges, is both an opportunity and a test. The broader pattern here is clear. In an interconnected world, no country can go it alone. But aligning interests is often easier said than done, especially when dealing with a partner as independent-minded as India. The question now is whether this partnership can thrive under the weight of its own contradictions. Will India and the U.S. overcome their differences to build a durable alliance, or will history repeat itself, leaving both nations to face the rise of China without a united front? Only time will tell.